Welcome to Melbsat and our first video in a series of videos relating to the Flow Headend. In this first video, we're going to show you how to unbox and assemble the Flow Headend. Now what we have inside this box is only the bare minimum you would ever receive if you ordered a Flow Headend. So what we'll do now is we'll open the box, we'll take out all the relevant components that have come, and then we'll assemble them. Once you've got all your components out of the box, it's a good idea, if you can, to keep the box. You may need it for future use or transport or something of that nature. All right, this is the main box that contains the chassis. If we open it up, have a look in here, this is what you're going to see. First thing, lift our two arms up, then our chassis should come out of the box. This piece of cardboard is redundant, just take that out of the road. All right, spin our chassis around, turn it up this way. Simply our base plate folds down and clips into place. Now we've got to this stage, what's actually on the back of the base plate is a separate wall mount plate that can simply be slipped off. Whether you use this wall mount plate will depend on whether you're bolting this to the wall or whether you're putting it into a rack system. If you put it into the rack, you won't need the wall plate at all. Now we've come upstairs with our base module to show you how it actually slots into a rack. What you'll see on the back here, come in here Dave, have a look. We've got the mounting pins. This is what actually clips into our mounting rack. And you can see we've got our green locking arms here. To install this in the rack, we're going to need to unlock the arms. Now if I pick this up, if you follow me around, Dave, we've got a mounting rack here, and it's simply a case of slipping it through. Those little pin arms will locate into the rack, and then you push the green locks in, and now that's secured and cannot move. Now if you come around here, Dave, we also have a float bubble here, and this will tell you whether you've got the system mounted squarely in the rack, so always check that after you've locked it into place. Now the reason we installed this before we put any of the modules into the rack is because you cannot see that level bubble if the power module is in place. Through the power video, we're back downstairs again with our flow base, and if Dave comes in here with the camera, you can see we've got 12 locations where different modules can be located. But you'll notice the first module and the second module place are different to the other 10. That's because it's non-negotiable. The first place must be taken up by the power module, and the second place must be taken up by the hub. The hub is the brain of the system. Okay, let's put our first two modules into the flow base. They'll come in these nice little neat boxes. This is our power supply module. Now there are guides on the base here, so inserting it is very easy. Now it's easier to insert these modules when the actual unit is in the base rack, because it takes quite a bit of force to push it all the way in. Now that's not locked all the way in, and I'm not going to try and do it because we're not in the rack, but when you are installing it, make sure that is seated firmly and all the way back. So our first module is the power module, and this is our hub module, which is the second one. It's clearly labelled hub, so you can't go wrong, and it has the type of fitting on the back that's going to match this receptacle, and it's not going to match any other position. So same thing, just make sure it goes into the guides, push it all the way home, and then you're good to go. Now today in this basic assembly video, we're not going to install any of the other modules. Which modules you'll end up getting with the kit will depend on the application that you're using the flow for. Now we're going to do things a little bit out of order now. Normally you would install all your cable, your power and all your connections before you put the rest of the covers on. But as this is an assembly video, at this point in time, we're going to put the other covers on to show you how it happens. And in a later video, we'll come back to the other elements regarding connections and installation. So the secondary box here, when you open this box, what you'll find is a top and bottom cover. Now on the inside of the box, it also gives you instructions on how they should be installed. So I'll take these covers out, Dave, and reveal what's underneath. And underneath the covers in the bottom of the box is the front that contains all the fans. We'll come back to this piece in a moment. Let's put that aside. Alright. Okay, installing our covers. The word Ikusi goes to the top. The ventilated cover goes to the top of the unit, and it simply just slides in. Make sure it's all the way in and sitting squarely. Once that one's in, you can repeat the process with the bottom cover. Once again, the Ikusi symbol to the top, the tapered piece to the rear, and it also has slots to slide into. Last but not least, we have the fan cover. Now on the back of the fan cover, we have power and magnetic locators. These locators line up with the locators on the front of the Flow unit. And simply a clip-on application, and if this was fully installed with all the power connected and so forth, our expectation would be that the fans would start. If they haven't started, well, clearly the cover's not on correctly. Also, we cannot see it at the moment, but this part of the cover here is actually translucent, and when it's powered up, all your modules will have a green or a red light indicating that they're operating correctly or that there's an issue, and you'll actually be able to see those lights through this panel. In a later video, when we've actually got it installed and powered up, we'll show you this in action. Okay, I think that's enough for the first video. Join us for the next one, and we'll delve deeper into the capabilities of the Flow Headend.